Let's stick with the ABC for a moment and look at their online survey of 60,000 people called Australia Talks. It's in full swing at the moment. They seem to be getting feedback from ABC types, reflecting back ABC views to the ABC, and then they do news reports based on this, pretending it reflects the real Australia. And guess what? As usual, the ABC view of mainstream Australia is pretty dismal.
Majority of Australians believe racism is widespread and many have personally experienced it. That's the latest finding of the ABC's Australia Talks national survey. It's prompted renewed calls for a national anti-racism strategy.
Yeah, that's it. That's just the public broadcaster that you fund telling you that you're racist. And of course, they have a go at the coalition government too, because they reckon the coalition government in Canberra ought to fix all this.
Solving this problem isn't easy, particularly when there's no federal strategy to tackle it.
Look, this stuff is plain and simple. It is fake news. It's concocted by the ABC for the ABC. It's the sort of stuff the ABC board and its chair should be eliminating. They should be telling their charges to get back to proper news reporting. But Ida's been out there spruiking it.
And I was particularly in agreement, I'll tell you one, about racism in sport. Something like 69% of women say yes, there is, and 51% of men say no, there isn't. So I find that quite interesting. Women are far more conscious of racism in sport than men are. But that will be explored in more depth as this survey goes along.
Yes, weeks of excitement to come.
Still, on the bright side, the ABC chair was questioned about all this on ABC radio in Adelaide.
Look, 60,000 is a lot, but just you see my point. How do we know it's not self-selecting? That is, I'm sure there'd be at least 60,000 people in a population of 25 million who like to take part in surveys, but that doesn't mean that the rest of they represent the views of the rest of the population. How do we make sure it is balanced?
Well, we have a research panel and you know, people are asked, to the best of my knowledge, people are asked at random.
Yeah, really? 60,000 people asked at random, to the best of your knowledge? Which people?
We don't hand over
their
details.
names. We don't know who they are. No, we don't know who they are.
Okay.
We don't know who we're sampling or how we sample them. All we know is they reflect a very ABC view of the world, and we report them as the views of the nation. Your taxes funding fake news. Nick, this is sad stuff, really, isn't it?
It is. And good on our old mate David Bevan for nailing this. This is what statisticians would call selection bias. The survey is basically worthless because the panel selects itself. And just to give you a comparison, our survey, which you mentioned earlier, which we do through a company called True North, they select 1,000 people and they pay a lot of money to a consumer panel company that goes out of its way to ensure you've got a balanced sample on age, geography, voting intentions, gender and those sort of things. That's how you do it, and you have to pay money to do it. They've obviously wanted to do it on the cheap.
Yeah, Sophie, these sort of online samples, I mean, they're all pretty dodgy and what, but if you're going to do it, don't pretend it's Australia talking. Don't pretend these are really representative views of this great nation.
Well, Chris, I thought I should do my homework, so I jumped online, Googled it, found it and did it. And it asked me how many times I wash my bed sheets. So, you know, I'm just really glad that we're looking at the hard-hitting issues when, you know, I've come from a city where we're locked down and we can't leave our houses and people are worried about the economy, but they're more concerned about bed sheets.
How many times, Sophie? You can't leave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How often do you wash them?
Many times a month.
Many times a month. I filled it out once just to see what was through it. And, of course, the answers I gave were absolute crap because you didn't want to... But I suppose that goes into the system. My imaginary answers are part of their Australia talks. Oh.